What defines Victorian architecture? Technically, Victorian refers to the period of English history when Queen Victoria reigned, specifically between 1837 and 1901. However, when we refer to Victorian homes, we tend to talk about a type of architecture that was prevalent throughout Europe and the Americas in the late 19th century. Homes defined as Victorian in style usually have an asymmetrical shape. They actually have multiple roofs that are steep in several sections, and they have gables sticking out in all directions. They'll also often have a tower or a turret and ornate, detailed trim, especially around the top of their large wraparound porches. With Victorian homes, the more detail, the better. So you'll see beautiful details in the shingles and in the columns and adorning the trim. Why did Victorian style fall out of favor? Art, design, and architecture trends are cyclical. One period seeks out pattern, ornamentation, detail, and excess. The next period wants to undo all of that, pushing clean lines, simplicity, and reduction of form to its purest essence. Victorian architecture also suffered the same cyclical fate, where once people craved intricate carvings and labor-intensive wallpaper, the next generation sought a clean, modernist aesthetic that we've come to associate with the machine age. Why are Victorian homes haunted? To our eyes, Victorian homes are particularly susceptible to hauntings. We think of the Victorians as being obsessed with death, and in a way they were. They themselves were grappling with the Industrial Revolution and all that came with it, along with rapid urbanization, crime, and disease. These were the people who popularized seances. They battled with their own beliefs over the limits of mortality with stories such as Dracula, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We also have our slew of haunted house tales that rose up in this time period in the States, including those by Edgar Allan Poe and Nathaniel Hawthorne. Victorian customs for dealing with their dead also seemed outdated and macabre once the 20th century came into being. Weaving the hair of loved ones into jewelry or laying the dead out for viewing in the front room of the house all became grotesque practices of the past. As Victorian architecture fell out of favor, people began to regard these massive, intricate homes as embodying corruption and wealth-induced excess. Evils of the past that conflicted with modernist ideas of equanimity and simplicity. The homes, difficult to upkeep anyway with all their intricate crevices, soon sat in disrepair. The paint peeled, the wallpaper rotted. The evil house just sat there. And then the ghost came. And paintings and film depicted these run-down Victorian mansions as haunted, culturally sealing the architecture's fate. Would you live in a Victorian home? Consider this before you do. Legend says that ghosts tend to get active when you renovate.